show on the road, shall we? Hello everyone, welcome to the MADCO Labs Studios. First Friday open mic at Celestial Beans Coffee. I am your host, Alexander A. Manzoni, and I'm gonna perform a little poetry for you. Didn't get to do it last month, but you know what? That means I have 2 months worth of poems that I haven't read or anybody has seen yet. So I'm very excited. If anybody wants to come and perform anything in front of the microphone, please raise your hand or let me know in between the poems. Thank you very, very much. I am so appreciative of this art establishment and this art community that has developed here in Spokane and especially at MADCO Lab Studios. Now for a shameless plug. I have some Manzoni Loves You coffee mugs that are available for $19.99 through me. Now, they're very nice and I got them custom made and there's only 5 left, so buy them up. Welcome to the holiday season. I know it's the very beginning of the holiday season, but since I won't be seeing you guys until the new year, I decided to wear my funky Santa Claus hat. Thank you. Applause for the hat. Very nice. It's a crazy season this year. We got a new COVID variant running around. We got all kinds of stuff happening. And it's scary to go outside, but you know what I'm not scared to do? Go and experience some art at First Friday in Spokane, because that's one of the only times I get out during the month. But you know what? It's one of the best times all month. So let's begin. Let's do this. Now today is my mother's birthday, Virginia L. Servino. She is one of the featured artists at MADCO Lab Studios. Granted, she took down most of her paintings, but you know what? She loves this place and she's been working on a lot of new paintings and I'm sure they'll be up here very soon. Oh yeah, prints available. They're right over there and you can buy some if you so choose. They are beautiful. My mother does oil paintings of flowers and animals and landscapes and people and things and just life.
Beauty.
Life. Now, here's the poem I wrote for my mother's birthday. It is a tradition that I do every year. And for most holidays that I write my mother a poem and she loves it. And I love doing it. Happy birthday, Mummy. Isn't it funny how things turn out? The main thing that matters is that you're still together with us for all the familial celebrations, our holidays, for all of life's precious moments, for all of our ups and downs and every which ways that we all must experience. You have brought so much joy, and not just to me, but to all the children of daycare. You have so edified and comforted in their vital, formative years. The lessons so learned through you will remain with them forever, subconsciously or otherwise. In 2021, you became a popular local figure in the arts community, as more folks than ever have not only experienced your work, but have thus been deeply moved by your exquisite brushstrokes. Your work, it is hung all throughout the city. Barrister Winery especially held your works proudly upon its industrial brick walls. You have a slew of new fans. I have overheard many a conversation at these events with people fawning over your works, showering the paintings with joyful praise. And what a year it has been! With the summer showing season complete, 'tis time for you to relax, recoup, and recover. So, enjoy yourself, be proud of your accomplishments, It is a fantastic feeling, one that is well deserved for thee. Happy birthday, Mummy. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Virginia.
Get well soon to my mother. She did go to the hospital today, and she's got pneumonia, so it's not too good. But you know what? I talked to her. I texted her earlier, and she's back home, and she's surviving, and she's very excited to see the video of this poem. Very excited. So my next poem I'm going to go into is a little bit different. Maybe not that one. That was a little too rough for right now. This one's called "Tell Us a Secret." This is supposed to go out to any potential readers in the audience. Tell us a secret, something that you have never told anyone. Go on. Do not choose this moment to highlight one's shyness. This is the time to spill your guts, to tell the freaking truth for once in your life. No baggage, no clapbacks, no worries. We will not judge for what you choose to present. Well, not unless it's something truly heinous. You're not a monster, though. Right? Otherwise, why the hell are you even here? Tell us a secret. There is no shame. There is no shame in being human. Not unless you're Catholic, like me. Then shame is the first course of the God-given war. There is no shame. There is no shame, no, in being you. It's tough to find one's identity in today's world. It's tough to find what one is good at when you're just looking and seeing so many talented people on all these videos on the internet, on the TV, everywhere. Young virtuosos, people who are, younger than you could even think possible, are 10 times better at whatever it is you're doing right now. And you know what? Can't let that get you down. You can't reflect on that too much. I know I have, and it has affected me greatly. And it has taken years of therapy to be able to overcome such things, and to be able to go out and even step forth in front of others. Because I have crippling anxiety. Shocking, I know. But you know what? It's part of what they call exposure therapy. Get right up here and being like, hey everybody, look at me. This is called Black Friday 2021. I know I write a Black Friday poem almost every year because it brings so many feelings to heart. Just the darkest parts of being human. You'd think you'd get out of that through Halloween, but no, Black Friday it comes. That's not part of the poem. This is Black Friday 2021. It came and it went. And because I have been actively avoiding any and all news broadcasts, I know not who or how many folks got trampled in the yearly Walmart Best Buy stampedes. Who this year died for a 4K television set? Who died for a Sony PlayStation 5? Who died for the latest in Sesame Street plush dolls? Who died for something wholly insignificant in the grand scheme of things? Black Friday is scary, perhaps more so than Halloween. For it is on days such as these when the true monsters come out to play, along some fantastic, unmissable deals. On Black Friday, let us remember those who so were lost to the gaping maw of unbridled American economics. Their memories do not seem to be dwelled upon after the initial news story. For the corporate scum, they know that if the people realize the danger they put themselves in, well, it would hurt their bottom line. For one can say as much. That's why I'm very thankful I take my Black Friday digital. Thank you. There's some great sales out there. So here's the part where I am going to ask if anyone has anything they would like to perform in front of people and in front of this camera? If not, I'm going to go to the next poem. And I will do this every so often when people come in and out, and I'll let them know, hey, I'm not hogging a spotlight here, okay? And it doesn't need to be poetry, it can be anything. Anything. Short of something that would get the police called. Thank you. So I wrote a poem for Thanksgiving morn. Oh no, I don't want that one. That was a bad day. All right, I cook Thanksgiving dinner, and sometimes I write poems, and I don't mean to show any of the people them, and that was one of them. Okay. Thanksgiving was rough. I cooked the dinner, and it was delicious, and everyone enjoyed it, and that's what we shall remember, and I will leave it at that. So lately, I've been trying to quit smoking, and it's been a very tough time. My mother is too, and as a result of that, I am very irritable at times, and it's not good. So I had to write a poem about that, called Everything is Irritating. Everything is irritating and driving me nuts. Each annoyance is magnified. It is compounded to the power of and then some. Don't mind me while I am acting like a jackass. I am not in the best place right now. I'm cutting down on smoking, like I have cut down on everything else, though the hope remains that I shall finally quit, so that I may clear my lungs and make room for more weed. I need to improve my health and overall well-being. I am tired of seeing these doctors and receiving the hard facts, those I would otherwise prefer to ignore and deftly push under the living room rug. But the reality is here, and it is sickening both metaphorically and literally. My maternal grandmother, she smoked constantly, developing emphysema, and our eternal foe, cancer, eventually took her from this ever-chaotic mortal realm. 'Twas a lesson I should have taken to heart when I made the decision to pick up again. Fresh out of my second rehab, my first year of probation, I stole some smokes out of my mother's purse. 'Twas a decision that has come back to bite me on the ass, and then some. So I'm just doing what I can here, and that's what I'm gonna do. You know, that's all you can do is your best. If you can't quit today, maybe tomorrow. It took me 6 years to get off of H, but I did it, and now in February, I'll have 7 years. Hey, that's great. And you know, everyone thought I was a lost cause after the first rehab didn't work and the second rehab didn't work. It took a lot of life lessons, and it took coming across the country to a new life. As soon as I got off of probation, I came out here, started a new life, and then after a year, got a great girlfriend, and things have been amazing ever since. Living in our suburban neighborhood in Audubon Downriver, it is awesome. And I am so thankful for you, baby. Incidentally, this next poem has nothing to do with that. This is called A Sharp Pain. A sharp pain, it rings deep from inside the confines of my lower torso. This pain, it is familiar. It comes and goes without much hint of warning. Was it something I ate? Or was it something I couldn't help but obsess over? Or, worst case scenario, is there an evil entity dwelling, making me its unwilling host within? Its dagger pierced through mine abdominal walls, exposing the indignity of my roiling innards outward. A sharp pain, it can signify many things, though the mind, it can occasionally manifest that which is so unwarranted. So the story behind that is I've been getting sick all the time lately. I mean, I have been every year around this time of year. Finally, I asked my doctor about it, and he had said to me that because I'm bipolar and I go through mania, and it's my body, and I've been going through a lot of stress lately. My body's producing a lot of cortisol, and it's lowering my immune system and getting me sick all the time when I barely even leave the house. So it's tough, but you know what? I get through it, and I'm feeling pretty decent tonight. So I gotta take advantage of any little moment where I feel good enough to get out the door, come out, and perform some poetry, because I love it. I love it. I can't get enough of it. This is called I Knoweth Not. I knoweth not what's around the corner. I knoweth not the number of branching roads, those that lead us down the utter chaos that is the highway of life. I knoweth not the nature of my reconciliation with society. It kind of just happened after so many years of being beaten down by the system. 3 years of probation turned to 6, and after that I could no longer bear to spend but a singular shitty moment in court. I knoweth not how I put down the needle, threw them away, tips bent and broken, into taped shut coffee cans and discarded laundry detergent bottles. They are long gone. But the scars, they still choose to remain. They are a forever reminder of why I need to stay off the drugs, why I need to be good, as it were. I knoweth not how I found love. My heart, I thought, had grown black and otherwise uncaring. I knoweth not how I found where to belong. It just sort of happened, and I fell into place. For many a year did I find my spirit wandering my place that was not alongside future Trumpers as they coke and speed waxed on talking about lawnmowers, hunting trucks, cars, and the ever-present Kid Rock country music. My place, it was not with them. Well, not forever anyway. So Halloween was a lot of fun. I hope, it was fun. I had a great time. We went out. We went out to the club. We did some, we had a good time. We saw a nice show. And I wrote some poems about it. This was me getting ready for Halloween. Halloween dreams. The day is coming, the 31st of October, or Mensis October, if you want to get historical about it. And that means Halloween time for costumes, candy, and scary-ass movies. And I cannot wait. This year, I'm going as a plague doctor. The ones with the mask that looks like a hideous bird. A leather-clad Skeksis. If you happen to be a Dark Crystal / Jim Henson fan. On Friday, we're going to the MADCO Lab Studios costume party. On Saturday, we're headed to the Globe for what sitcoms have told me is gay Halloween, which is, in fact, supposed to be the best Halloween. For the RuPaul-sponsored drag show featuring the illustrious Season 3 winner, Raja. That's what I'm talking about. You do not need to be queer to enjoy the festivities. Well, at least in my mind. Nobody grabbed my ass last time. I'm fine on more than one account. The scariest thing in line is the haunting specter of profound uncomfortability, an instability to breathe, and a self-imposed sweat steam bath. Vapors as they pour forth from the width of my darkened costume sleeve. That was a lot of fun. I know a lot of straight men think that places like the Globe are houses of sin, and it's not like that. It was actually a lot of fun, and people are really nice and accepting, and you keep coming back every month. Shit. They have a really cool karaoke night on Wednesdays that Sophia goes to sometimes, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. I like it a lot. And especially with this COVID epidemic, anytime you get out, you gotta be thankful, and try to enjoy yourself as much as possible, because you never know when everything's gonna shut down again. And then what are you gonna do? Huh? Or are you gonna stay home, like I did? But you know what? As much as I love staying home, I do occasionally like to come out to play. And that's my idea of playing, is reading poetry. Hey, whatever works, right? This one is called The Tiger. Granted, I wrote this before I watched season 2 of Tiger King, which was very depressing. That's not part of the poem. I just slip into that sometimes. But basically, if you love animals and you want to get very upset, watch that. You know, it was slightly entertaining for what it was at moments. But, you know, I like writing about cats. And this is why I have the tiger. The tiger pounces on prey, unsuspecting. It is faint, orange movement in the nearby grass. Tall, dry and whispering in the summer heat. Its power, the tiger's, was immense beyond measure. Before men beget firearms, then the once proud top of the food chain hunter assumed the depressing title of endangered. Their bones ground to dust, to thence be consumed for its perceived vitality by superstitious sorts. Their meat, at $1,500 a kilo, is consumed by the rich, because what self-respecting high-dollar foodie doesn't want to dine on tiger steaks with black truffles and a side of condor eggs? It's awful. Shouldn't be selling animals' bones for magic or any reason. It's not going to make you a more vital man. That's my message to the world. Just like shark fin soup isn't going to give you any isn't going to make you better in bed or anything like that, okay? It's not happening. You're not going to get the power of the tiger or the power of the rhinoceros by eating a bone or a horn. Otherwise, dogs would have the power of so many different things. Okay, here's from this is called Saturday Night at the Globe. This is from the November show that we went to for Thanksgiving. We had such a good time. Out and about downtown with my sweet, sweet baby, Sophia. True and in love, nothing can stop us now. We step with dignity and poise cross Main Street to the Globe, where we held comped tickets to the RuPaul-sponsored drag show featuring Delta Work. That's the 4th TV reality star we have seen this past year. And Sophia, she couldn't be happier, despite her depression, despite the overwhelming anxiety present in all things. The joint, when we got there, 'twas crowded. Though hosting Queen Nova Kane found us a nice seat right at the bar. I ordered club soda with lime. It's what I do, to make it look like I was drinking something more substantial. Lord knows how upset some drunks get when they realize you've chosen not to imbibe. While we were there, we saw many acrobatic, beatific, and comedic triumphs. Elegance personified, one does not need to be confined by traditional societal mores. Not any longer. Gender and sexual preference has become increasingly fluid, despite mine own masculine hetero inclinations. And I am absolutely fine with that. And I say, let what moves you be you. Let it drive you. Yes.
Woo!
Hey, I gotta have a sip of this delicious coffee. Gotta get some coffee from the delicious Celestial Beans Coffee House. Thank you. Delicious. I wonder if it's gonna fit in my thing. I'm not gonna chance it.
Yeah.
It's designed for a bottle.
I need to share it with you anyways.
Okay, we'll get another sip then.
We'll get another one soon.
Yeah. This one's called I Wish. I wish I could breathe easy. I wish that I could stop doing what I'd like to, but it isn't always so simple. My habits, my addictions, they have constantly been an issue, whether it was drugs, obsession with video games, the old online chat rooms of yore, or anything else I could fixate upon. My mania, it has caused controversy in my family. Long ago, it was assumed I was faking to get out of school. But that wasn't the case. Well, most of the time. I was troubled. I was compromised internally by something wholly out of my own control. And through yet another rabbit hole I fell down. I wish things could have been different. Oh, I wish. But you know what? Sophia likes to put it like this to me, that if things didn't turn out the way they did, we probably never would have met. I never would have came out here, and we never would have fell in love. In love. I love you, baby.
Love you.
It's just certain times of the year come around, and there's just a lot of painful memories. I got a lot of friends that have been overdosing, and their anniversaries come up, you know, especially around holidays and things like that. And a lot of them were people that judged me when I was at my worst. They're like, yo, why would anyone ever do drugs like that? What an idiot. You're such a fucking idiot. And then 10 years later, dead. And that's a tragedy, but it's another life lesson I learned, that I just have to keep moving forward. And I'm living for all those people, my neighbors, my old roommates, all the people from the town, the acquaintances, the frenemies. They're gone. But you know what? I'm still here, and I am telling their story. Hi, Robin. Glad to have you here. Would you like to perform anything in front of the camera?
Not yet, anyway.
Okay. Yeah, it's anything. It doesn't have to be poetry. You can turn the camera off if you really want. But, you know. This next poem is called Therapists, because recently I was talking to a therapist, and I've had this problem where they just pass me around like, you know, not like nobody's business. It's just one after another. Every few months, they're like, oh, by the way, it's over. Let's wrap it up. This last time, I just told a long story about my childhood, and I'm like expecting something back, and she's just like, oh, by the way, this is our last session. I'm like, well, maybe we should have spent the session wrapping it up instead of letting me tell you this backstory, because I wanted you to know more about my history, because I have a fucked up history. It's tough. I have this crazy life story that takes way more than 3 months to tell, and then it's just one doctor after another. So therapists, it has always been tough trying to find a long-term therapist. They are barely around long enough to get the gist of my life story. The last one lasted 2 or 3 visits. The one before that, 60 days. The one before that, 2 to 3 months. So why is it so hard to maintain a regular counselor? They're not Counselor Troy, Counselor Mackey from South Park, or any of the other TV film characters that so profess the psyche. No, they are but regular citizens, those employed by Frontier Behavioral Health. So why the hell do they have to make this so fucking hard? Indeed. Why do they? You know, I find myself very lucky because I have health insurance, but most people don't. But at the same time, it's just so hard trying to get any type of decent medical care in America. And so once you find a doctor or a therapist that you like, hold on to them. Maybe give them a hug if they'll let you. Say, please don't leave me. Please, don't. I need you. Or just like, bye-bye, I'm never gonna talk to you again. Don't ever try to if you see me in public, don't say hi to me. I'm not allowed to say hi to you. Thanks. A real personal relationship there. frozen nights. So I wrote almost all of these poems outside on a porch. It's just what I've been doing. I go outside at like 4 o'clock in the morning and I'll be smoking and writing. So I guess now I'll be smoking less and writing, and eventually I'll just be standing outside, looking awkward and writing. Frozen nights. I am still in denial that Halloween has come and gone. Fall, it's coming to its always eventful conclusion holiday, the one they call Thanksgiving. But the air outside, it knows. It brings the freezing chill from up north. One can only be in denial for so long before the reality of which comes to smack you squarely in the jaw. Don't get caught outside. The city, it has a number of warming centers. If you are so unluckily stricken to the state, it is the streets. Whoops. Yeah. It's funny how serious I'm being, and I've got this funny hat on. It's a contrast. I'm contrasting here. If you are so unluckily stricken to the state of the streets, they'll make you take a shower. So if you're hydrophobe or terrified of public shower facilities, you might wish to plan ahead. November, 'twas the month I left the streets, hopefully forever. 'Twas near Thanksgiving. And, oh, Lord above, did I have much to be thankful for that year. And every single one since. So I thank thee. I thank you. That first apartment was filthy, ridden with flies and junk shit. I'm not kidding. But I was thankful, am thankful, though those flies weren't as such, for they incurred my wrath. And each last one of them were eventually slain, and it only took a month. So yeah, I'm not gonna just give you no context about that duck shit, but basically, the person who was living in my apartment before me, in Brown's Addition, had a duck in the house, and the duck shit everywhere. And they also had cats that shit up. It's like they had like a menagerie of animals, and mind you, you're not allowed to have any animals. So, but that was a terrible place. And that was the place that I wrote about in my poem, Ronnie's Tweaker Paradise, when the tweakers came in next door and turned the place into a goddamn 24-hour-day party. And it took 17 calls to 911 for the cops to get rid of them. 17. In a whole month, calling almost every night. Someone's shooting a gun out there. Someone's got a gun. Hey, there's a drug dealer here every night. He's dealing drugs. They don't care. And then the neighbors were buying drugs off of them. So when the cops would show up, they'd be like, man, nobody's doing nothing. I didn't see nobody. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. I'm the one who's gonna live next to these pieces of shit. Not anymore. Now I'm living in suburbia. And you know what? It's very nice. Got one of the nicest spots in Spokane. And I don't want to talk about it too much because people will start coming in and fucking it up. Basically, I went from, the first week of Sophia living in Brown's Addition, or people breaking into the car, to being out here where it took a year before someone broke into the car. Hey, that's an improvement.
It's still Spokane.
Yeah. But you know what? It's been really cool, and I like going back and forth. Like, I've lived in the rural farmlands of New Jersey, so I grew up on a 30-acre soybean farm. So I lived on the farm. I've lived in the deep inner city of Trenton. I have lived on the streets of Spokane for a month or two. Yeah, it was like 2 months. I have lived in the suburbs, and I have lived in Pennsylvania, which is basically like Washington State, except more boring. Believe it or not. Except for Philly, that's just like madhouse. Freaking madhouse. I am very terrified. That's one city I'm terrified of going to. So Spokane, pretty scary, but not completely terrifying. So speaking of, the wind was whipping outside my window the other night, and it was very unsettling. So I went outside, trying to have my phone not blow out of my hand, and I wrote a poem in the wind. The wind is blowing outside. It is fire out of a demon's ass right now. And I don't know what has gotten into Mother's Nature. Perhaps she is angered. Perhaps she is weary of all our human misgivings. Perhaps she wishes to punish us. Perhaps she is the storied murmurings of our ancestors, those angry still from their days upon this magnificent desolation. Whipping, the wind is striking swift blows repeatedly. 1, 2, 3. A branch of great length falls onto street level. Panic ensues. The power, it ceases for many a household. Best to find your candles in that one weird out-of-the-way drawer beforehand. You better be prepared for the wind. That last part didn't happen, but most of my poems, the ones that aren't fantastical, are based on reality, something that's happening or whatever's going on around me. Whenever I get stuck somewhere, I'll start writing. So, I got poems of me at the bus station, I got poems at the doctor's office. So people doing fucked up shit in public, I will document it. I'm looking at you, weird guy on the bus. This is a poem about sleep paralysis. If you don't know what that is, it's a living nightmare where at night you feel like someone is strangling you in your sleep. Very nice. I wake up like that quite often, and I feel really bad for Sophia, because sometimes she has to wake me up because I'm just freaking out and just making all kinds of noise and stuff. Sleep paralysis. Oh, by the way, back in the day, they used to think these were demons, because part of a lot of the dreams is that there'll be a dark, shadowy figure, and they'll push you up against a wall or something and lift you up and hold you there, and then you can't breathe. To the vengeful spirit, the one so black, noir, and lithe, flexibly contorting in the darkness of my tormented dream life, horrific fingers clutching madly at my throat, I say to you, fuck off. You are unwanted. You are unloved. You have no place here. But you do not bear to heed me. You follow me into the staid security of my twilight respite. You make it an unbearable necessity, this sleep. I wish I could no longer grow tired, that I never taste the sweat of exhaustion, bearing me down unto a cursed pillow. I wish you were gone, yet you remain. Explain yourself, ill spirit of malicious nature and intent. Tell me why. Why have you chosen my skull to reside? Tell me why. Tell me. It just so happened I realized there was a skeleton next to me, and I'm like, wow, that works. It works. See, because my therapist has been dumping me off. That's just the best I get, And you know what? It is so much of it is a form of therapy, because it's I bring up my innermost thoughts and I say to them, hey! And then I post the videos and then I get feedback. And sometimes the feedback's better than what I get from my therapist anyway. But that's never a replacement for therapy. So I'm continuing to look for a new therapist, or at least the office is taking care of that for me. So I'm sure the next one's gonna be grand. Copyright hit. So we're in this new world where the algorithm bots are out in droves, and you post things on the internet. Yeah, they're supposed to be yours, right? Original content. You're not stealing anything, right? Wrong! The bot thinks so. I got hit the other day by YouTube bots giving me copyright strikes on music that I wrote for my own poem video. So that was interesting, so I had to fight them. Copyright hit. The social media powers that be have taken an interest in my work, though not in a good way. Between the copyright strikes on music I wrote myself years ago, that I used my poetry videos, and the community guideline strikes I've been receiving, it seems like the little guy is held to a much different standard than other, shall we say, more popular channels and pages. It's not right. I have every right to write about 9/11, school shootings, and the ongoing opioid crisis, because it never ended. But these are all subjects that are apparently out of bounds for individuals such as myself, even when I'm not even cursing. Well, they can fucking go to hell. Them, their precious sponsors, and their automated profile scrubbing bots. Lots of dystopian future is now Orwellian nightmares made real to steal what dignity and privacy we have left. Christ. The conclusion was, though, that I won. I did. It only took a couple emails, but it kind of ruined my day. And it's been coming up where I'll get an email from YouTube, and they'll say, your video has been taken down for violating this or that. And I'm like, look at it. I'm like, all I did was talk about like the opioid epidemic or 9/11 or these things, and I'm doing it as like respectfully as I could too. And I go to and I watch all these other videos that are like the most disturbing things on the internet, and they truly are the most disturbing things on the internet. Yes, they do blur out the naughty bits of people and some of the violence, but it's some gruesome stuff. And I can say about my work, it may be a little unsettling, but it's never gruesome. Speaking of gruesome, we had Fallback recently. All this time traveling, it really gets to me. I don't know why we gotta do it, because it really costs people's lives in the end, and people get all fucked up on their schedules. But you know what? I had to write a poem about it. Fallback. It is 2:23 a.m. Our clock's set back. We've lost an hour. And I've already screwed myself up on the old schedule. My internal clock, it knoweth not these bizarre chronological manifestations, these artificial humankind constructs. So what to do? What can we do except adapt, and act like everything everywhere is normal? Go about our mundane modern lives whilst poison-tipped knives are pointed firmly between the salients of our exposed and altogether vulnerable shoulder blades. Yeah, Fallback. I wrote that in the hour that we fell back on. I think I did, maybe. That was around that time. I was so confused. I was going around the house setting clocks. And I just like, okay, this is bad. But you know what? I'm on top of it. I set all those clocks. Years ago, when I was at my worst, though, no, never did that. No clock. It was just, all the clocks in the house were wrong. Speaking of clocks, this is called midnight. 12 o'clock, the midnight hour. What secrets to the darkness hold for thee? The shadows, they caper across the window panes, cross the roughened asphalt sheen. Darkness thus bringeth the morn, the sunlit wonderment of dawn. But in the meantime, anything can happen behind closed doors or otherwise. Darkness, it bringeth a comforting terror, as confounding as that may be to the soul. It harkens back to the primordial state whereupon nightfall meant any number of hidden and unseen dangers. I like to think about back in caveman times and how it must have been at night when there's freaking saber-toothed tigers running around and you got like one guy on watch and he probably falls asleep and then you wake up and he's gone, feasted upon by a giant cat likes of which we shall never see. Although the scientists are working on breeding the mammoth, so perhaps we shall get a saber-toothed cat in our future. That is some interesting stuff. When are we gonna get some dinosaurs? I don't know. Oh, I didn't ask you. Okay. A sense of unreality. It permeates every molecule of my being. I wish I could start at the beginning. But here I am, seemingly at the very end of days. I'm out of ways to comprehend the gravity of the situation. This will be a last call for anyone wanting to perform. Does anyone want to perform before I continue? We've got 3 minutes left. All right, let's do this. Recently, I had my 3-year anniversary of writing every day. I have not missed a day. And the only requirement is that I write on that day. Doesn't matter how much, though I try to make it like a page at least, but I've been doing it for 3 years. And there's no end in sight. 3 years of writing with no stop in sight. The anniversary came upon Halloween night. When the realization came, I was shaken. Proud of myself and kind of pissed off. Pissed off that such time had passed, not so much as a book deal. But with 3 square meals a day and a fine house to live in, I shan't complain. For I am free to express my intentions and dreams. Plans that would otherwise be kept close and hidden in less, shall we say, progressive nations. The open mic, the art show, these are the things for which I am grateful. They have given much to me, to the community, a holy revitalization of spirit. It is something I could not get back home, back on the soybean flower farm, back in the drug-ravaged mini-suburbs surrounding Newfield, New Jersey, back with the Italiano redneck greasers, the gangbanger wannabe white boys and actual bangers of gangs, the ravenous, roving crackheads, the dope fiends of forgotten dreams. Granted, Spokane has much of this and more, but I have since decidedly separated myself from such groups, and I am all the better for it. Thank you. Woo!
Woo! Yeah.
So let's wrap up our open mic / poetry show. I want to thank Emma with Celestial Beans Coffee.
Woo!
Some fine coffee. I'd like to thank MADCO Labs Studios for having this building and this space safe for us and the community. We love it. We love our first Friday, and we love art in the community. Love it.
Yeah.
I want to wish everyone a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever atheist holiday there is. You know, anything that someone made up that I have missed. If you're celebrating it this month, I wish you happy whatever. And I am looking forward to the next show, which will hopefully be the next Friday or the first Friday after that. If something comes up, something could always come up. But I'm going to try to be here every month. And I hope you do too. Try to be here every month, because that would be nice. I appreciate everyone who's come out. I love you all. This has been Manzoni in the morning, at night, the open mic show.
Woo!
Woo! Smooth. All right. Don't drink and drive, kids, and always tip your bartender. Thank you very much.